One, yes, you can edit your character in-game. You don't have to pay money. Don't listen to them. Second, none of the DLC matters. It's all nonsense. It's probably only put there just to satisfy the concerns of fucking Daddy Capcom, make sure they can still get their studio funded. Okay? Because they're all meaningless. It's all nonsense. You need none of it. Okay? Yes, there is some performance issues, but to be honest, it really doesn't matter that much. The devs of Dragons Dogma 2 put out a response due to the negative backlash in the Steam reviews for Dragons Dogma 2. The response is as follows. To all Dragons Dogma 2 players, we would like to update you on the status of the following items, about which we have received numerous comments from the community. To all those looking forward to this game, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. Addressing crashes and bug fixes. We are investigating fixing critical problems such as crashes and freezing. We will be addressing crashes and bug fixes starting from those with the highest priority in the patches in the near future, addressing the option of starting a new game. We are looking to add a feature to the Steam version of the game that will allow players that are already playing the game to restart the game. We will announce more details as soon as we can. Finally, paid DLC. All of the items listed below can be obtained in-game or as paid DLC item. Art of Metamorphosis, which is the character editor. Ambivalent Rift Incense, change pawn inclinations. Port Crystal, warp location marker. Wakestone, restore the dead to life. Rift Crystals in their various nominations. Makeshift goal key and Harpy Snare smoke beacon. A lot of people are review bombing this game because it does have microtransactions. Now, the microtransactions that this game has do not affect the game in any capacity. Now, a misconception that there was made about this game is that the character editor was locked behind a $2 paywall, meaning the only way to get it is if you bought it through the DLC. Now, that is incorrect. You can buy Art of Metamorphosis books from inside the game. There is a shop in the main city, which should take you from starting the game about an hour and 30 minutes to get to the first main city. Once you're in the city, you just simply walk up to the vendor. You're gonna purchase your book. Costs about 500 Rift Crystals. Once you deplete the stock, in a couple of days, the stock will replenish. Now, yes, I did mention Rift Crystals, and yes, Rift Crystals are also on the paid DLC item, but Rift Crystals are earned in-game simply by defeating mobs and monsters. Okay, Rift Crystals are used in order for you to hire pawns to help you, but only pawns that are over leveled. If you hire a pawn that is the same level as you, it is free. Now, another issue that the community was having was with the port crystals. People are under the impression that the port crystal is what allows you to teleport in the game. Since Dragons Dogma 1, the philosophy of the game is that teleportation is very scarce and rarely used. Since Dragons Dogma 1, we've had to run around the whole map, and they brought that same philosophy with them to Dragons Dogma 2. So nothing has changed. Fairy stones and port crystals are as they were in the first game, the same scarcity, the same rarity. Now the only difference is that the port crystals are available for purchase through the DLC item. Now, what are the port crystals? The port crystals are markers you can place down that will allow you to teleport them whenever you have a fairy stone. Fairy stones are very difficult to find in the game, and they are very expensive. The fairy stone is what allows you to teleport. Now, throughout your playthrough of the game, you are going to get port crystals. The amount of port crystals you can have is locked at 10. You cannot exceed 10 port crystals, whether you get them or whether you buy them. The game in itself is going to have another set of 10 or 11 port crystals. So total, you're going to be at 20 different teleport locations, but you still need the teleport item, which is the fairy stone, which is not available for purchase. That one, the only way to get it is through in-game means. The last one is going to be the Wakestone is the item you use in the game to be able to revive yourself, to revive pawns, or to revive NPCs. Now, you do not require a Wakestone to revive yourself because you are the Arisen. You are unable to die. If you die in game, you just reload your last save and continue playing. There's no need for a Wakestone for yourself. If your pawns die, they lose health, you can simply revive them by going up to their bodies and pressing X until they revive. Okay? If you're unable to revive them when they're down, they will revert back to the rift. You then go find a rift stone, and then you can get them back. There is no consequence of death. The only thing that does matter is if you get an NPC killed, or if you yourself kill an NPC, that decision that you have made stays with. Now, you do have a couple of in-game days before the murdered NPC is gone for good. Once an NPC is killed, they will go over to the morgue. If you don't revive them when they're in the morgue, then they'll be gone forever. Now, the way wake stones work in the game is the game will be giving you shards throughout the game, wake stone shards. You need to collect 3 shards to make 1 complete wake stone. Now, these are not that rare, they're pretty abundant, and you should have more than plenty throughout your playthrough, as long as you don't make it a habit of killing NPCs. Another criticism that people were saying is that you are locked to only 1 arisen throughout your whole game. There is no way to restart, there is no way to start all over. Now, there is no way for you to do that in game, but if you are a little bit tech savvy, you can do it by going into your files for the Steam version and messing around in there. But I know not everybody is, and it's a little bit risky, but they are working on a way to let you do that in game. And finally, performance. Now, a lot of people are stating the fact that the game is having performance issues in the main cities of the game. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't understand what the big deal about 30 FPS, 60 FPS, especially if it's during walking around in a town. Okay, because this problem only exists in the big cities. Okay, and it's because whatever they decided to do it that they did, the amount of NPCs taxes more your system. So in a big town, there's a lot of NPCs, so then your system runs slower. So then lower frames. But it doesn't really matter. You're in the town, yes. The only thing that's noticeable is that you'll see the NPCs fade in and fade out pretty close, right? As in normal games, like you won't be able to see when they fade in and fade out. But in here, they'll be a couple feet in front of you, and they'll fade in and then fade out as well. But besides that, that's about it. It's not that big of a deal, especially since one, they're NPCs, right? They're just background characters. And second, the amount of time that you will actually spend in a town, in the main city, is very minimal, since your majority of your game is out exploring the world. You're not going to be in the town 50% of the game, where this would be a big deal. Max, you're going to be in a town, I'd say 5% of the time you're playing the game, if that, right? So making this big deal over something so inconsequential as a little bit of less frames during the time you walk around to your item vendors, I don't understand it. Personally, I don't understand it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions and whatever they like to do. Now, all of this is blown way over proportion. The game is fantastic. The game is great. I still highly recommend anybody to play this game. This game is amazing. This game lets you play however you want to play. It doesn't force you to do anything. It's just a truly open world action adventure RPG, and it just lets you be you, right? You can. Hopefully that clarified some of the misconceptions, okay? Well, that's it for today's video. Hopefully that clarified some stuff for you guys. Remember, people just be hating, okay? Don't listen to them. Game is great. Enjoy your time playing the game. If you don't like microtransactions, well then fucking don't buy any, right? We're not gonna get rid of them. The microtransactions, Pandora's box was opened many years ago, and there's no way of closing it. It's there. Developers probably only did what they did just to satisfy Daddy Capcom, make sure they can keep getting the studio funded. Right, I'll see you guys. Make sure you subscribe. More Dragons Dogma stuff coming in the future. I'll see you guys later. Bye.